Hello and welcome to Brewers Daily, part of the Fan Arch Podcast Network. I'm your host, Dave Gasper, and we have actual baseball that counts to talk about. Let's go. Opening day is here. It happened, and the Brewers get a win to start the season. Fire up glory days. Let's go. The Brewers get a massive win over the White Sox, 14-2, put up a pair of touchdowns. Absolutely fantastic performance. We'll get into that. Get into Jacob Misiorowski, an MLB record that the Brewers were able to help set. So lots to get to here on the show. But on this Friday edition, we got something big to talk about as well. Jackson Chourio getting placed on the injured list right before opening day. So I get in there to American Family Field, get into the clubhouse, and it's like, okay, all seems to be normal. It's obviously going to be crowded. Big day. So much excitement. And then next thing you know, we all get notified, hey, the Brewers are placing Jackson Chourio on the 10-day injured list with a fracture in his left hand. The fracture stemming from the hit by pitch that he suffered in that exhibition game prior to the World Baseball Classic while he was with Team Venezuela in their exhibition game, getting hit by a Nationals pitcher. And, it seemed fine at the time. He played through it. And then next thing you know, he needs to go on the IL. Blake Perkins gets called up in his place. And Jackson Chourio, we get a chance to talk to him. He says he felt it. He aggravated it on a check swing during those exhibition games against the Reds at American Family Field the past couple of days. So check swing. All of a sudden, he feels something in his hand. They get an MRI, they get extra imaging, and they find a hairline, tiny little fracture in his hand, and they end up putting him on the IL. So, very tough news to start the season. Not the news anyone wanted to see. I mean, you get all this excitement. You got Jackson Chourio in the lineup. You got Bryce Terang. You got all this. Like, oh, man, we're feeling great. And then immediately, one of the best players on the team, boom, gone, injured list. Like, come on, you've got to be kidding me. But that's the breaks there. And just talking with the Brewers, because we talked with Matt Arnold, we talked with Pat Murphy, we talked with Mark Attanasio about all this stuff, and the imaging the first time around wasn't necessarily super clear on a fracture. They didn't think that there was one, and then one shows up to do extra imaging, maybe doing the x-ray when the hand was swollen. Maybe that kind of clouded the picture. But at the time, the Brewers didn't have any sort of long-term concern about the hand there for Jackson Chourio. So like, oh no, it all seems fine. A little bit of pain, but he'll be good to go. Sure enough, that was not the case. Ends up being a problem here. It's weird to kind of see it wait until now, but symptoms didn't really manifest themselves until now. So that's kind of the tough part where you're kind of caught in between. Because it feels like somebody messed up, all right? Because this injury was 3 weeks ago. Like, he got hit on the hand 3 weeks ago, and just now you're finding out that he has a broken hand? Just now? That seems very weird to me. That doesn't really seem to be adding up. Something seemed to have gone wrong. Someone must have missed something. Perhaps, it wasn't broken before, and then, maybe it was just weakened or something, and then on the check swing is when it actually broke. Maybe that's what it was. I don't know if that's possible. I don't know if that's how it works. I'm not a doctor. I'm just speculating. Okay, I'm not trying to play doctor on TV, but still, Jackson Chourio ends up on the IL here as a massive shock to start the season. And imaging the first time, they said it's like, oh, no fracture, feeling good. Then they get some more imaging after he complains about like, hey, I feel something weird in my hand after that check swing. And then it's like, oh yeah, no, you've got a hairline fracture. So they want to get ahead of it as much as they can, even though they already seem to be 3 weeks behind it, in my opinion. But now they're giving him a chance to rest. Get that hand fully healed up so that it doesn't become worse as time goes on. and he's going to be out for the first couple of weeks. So major blow to the Brewers there to not have Jackson Chourio top the lineup for the first 2 to 4 weeks of the season. That is the estimated timeline that the Brewers have given us. Going to be out 2 to 4 weeks. Just really, really tough to see. And Blake Perkins, I mean, happy to see him get the call. Happy to see him be in Milwaukee. You wish it were under better circumstances. But it also is good that if you're losing a key player like Jackson Chourio, you have a guy who has a lot of MLB experience, a guy that you can trust to put into that lineup if need be. So Blake Perkins is back up with the Crew. We saw Jake Bauers in the lineup in left field for opening day, just with Jackson Chourio being out. And Jake Bauers contributed to the Brewers routing the Chicago White Sox here on opening day. Jake Bauers had one of the best spring trainings we have seen in a while. 7 home runs in spring. And what does he do on opening day? He homers. Because of course he does. Why not? I mean, he did strike out the first 2 times, but still ends up with a home run, a rainmaker of a home run, 44-degree launch angle. I mean, that thing was in the sky forever. The question was, did it have the distance? And sure enough, it ends up going past that short porch there in right field and into that little bar area that they have there hitting off the awning. So Jake Bauers, 44-degree launch angle. Just insane, a rainmaker. Thank God there's a roof, though, to protect us from that rain, because it did start raining towards the end of that game. That's what the forecast called for, and thank God that we have that roof on American Family Field, because otherwise that game would have been miserable to be at, despite the Brewers winning 14-2. But really, you got a ton of production up and down the lineup. Every single guy in the starting lineup was able to reach base. David Hamilton reached base 4 times. His first 4 times as a Brewer, he reached base. It was incredible. Love to see it. First one was a catcher's interference, because of course, Brewers baseball, let's go. You get a base hit up the middle that bounces off the second base bag towards the short, goes right to the second baseman, who's able to fire to first, but not quite in time to get David Hamilton, because he's pretty fast going down the line. But then you get a couple of walks. You got production. I mean, Bryce Terang led things off with a double. He was on base a couple of times. Sal Frelick ends up hitting the first home run of the season. I'm not sure any of you had that on your bingo card, that Sal Frelick would have the first bomb of the year. But he does. 407 feet, hits off the second deck up there in right field. So that's just, I mean, you absolutely love to see that. But the Brewers putting up a whole bunch of runs early on in this game in support of Jacob Misiorowski. But yeah, this was a great one. You get 4 runs in the second, 2 in the fourth, 2 in the fifth, 3 in the sixth, 3 in the seventh, and in total you end up with 14 runs in this game. Just absolutely great performance. And also, I got to talk about this while we're talking about the offense. Joey Ortiz, everyone's favorite punching bag on this offense. Joey Ortiz last season, 31 plate appearances with the bases loaded, 5 hits. He really struggled with the bases loaded. And wouldn't you know it, but his first at-bat in 2026 comes with the bases loaded. I even went and told Kurt Hogue of the Journal-Sentinel, I walked over, I'm like, okay, there's 2 on, Garrett Mitchell's up. I need a Garrett Mitchell walk to get Joey Ortiz with the bases loaded. And sure enough, Mitchell walks, bases loaded for Joey Ortiz. And Ortiz delivered. I'm so happy for Joey. I'm so glad he was able to get that. It was a stoinker. It was a duck snort, a dying quail that was able to just fall into shallow right field. 60-mile-an-hour exit velocity, just popped it up, but it got over the second baseman's head. He tried diving for it, wasn't able to get it. Ends up getting an RBI single with the bases loaded. Came through. You just absolutely love to see it for Joey. He struggled so much in those opportunities last year, and for him to be able to come through on that, because he does have kind of that soft contact problem. He had a bunch of hits kind of like that with the bases loaded last year, and they ended up being caught by the second baseman or the right fielder, whoever it was. Just kind of a little pop-up like that, soft contact, not super great, but this time it fell. And being able to see one fall like that, I think is so great for your confidence. I asked Pat Murphy about that after the game as well. And he pointed out how great that is for your confidence to see that one fall. And then looking at how it translated to his next two at-bats after that, right? Joey Ortiz's next at-bat, 105-mile-an-hour single to right field. I mean, that was a hard-hit, scorched ball to right field. Gets another RBI single. Next time up, deep fly ball to left center. Nearly hits it out. If it's probably like 10 feet to the left, not even necessarily deeper, just to the left. When it goes to that little outlay there in center field, then it's probably a home run that Joey Ortiz has. Two really good at bats after that. I think just being able to see that fall really helped him, and coming through with the bases loaded. You just love to see that for him. And then afterwards, William Contreras comes through with the bases loaded as well with a 3 RBI double down the left field line. So the offense was able to come through despite losing Jackson Chourio. You'd think that'd be a massive blow. And sure enough, I mean, it probably will be. This is just one game, but they are able to put up 14 runs. This whole group, just really, really solid. Christian Yelich, 2 hits. Bryce Terang, 2 hits. Andrew Vaughn ends up with a base hit. Jake Bowers, 2 for 5. Sal Frelick, 1 for 3. David Hamilton, again, he gets on a bunch of times. So just really, really good production up and down the lineup. And the Brewers get 14 runs on the board. It's nice to be on this side of a blowout on opening day. Last year, opening day in the first couple of games really just sucked. They were terrible to watch. I mean, they were blowouts, and they just felt absolutely terrible. This time, you're on the right side of a blowout, and it is so much more fun being on this side. Absolutely. And it also helps when you have Jacob Misiorowski out there on the mound for the Brewers. 5 innings, 11 strikeouts. He set a Brewers franchise record. The previous record was 8 strikeouts on opening day, and Jacob Misiorowski said, 8? Can do that in 4 innings. And sure enough, he did, and ends up going 5 and ends up with 11 strikeouts in this game. It sets franchise record, and really helps the Brewers set a big time record overall. But Misiorowski, he didn't light up the radar gun like we're used to seeing him do. He only had 3 pitches over 100 miles an hour in the whole game. And, I think that's not necessarily a bad thing. I asked him about it afterwards as well. So it's kind of just a product of being, this early in the season, but also a little bit of, being able to make it through 5 innings, wanting to be able to make it deeper into ball games and maintaining that velocity. I mean, he got to the end, his last pitch, 99.8 miles an hour, so didn't necessarily hit the triple digits. But still, it's effectively 100 miles an hour. So he's able to maintain that velocity deeper into his starts by, not necessarily going all out in that first inning to try and throw as hard as humanly possible. So Jacob Misiorowski really settled in. He did give up a home run to the first batter he faced. Chase Mydroth did take him deep in that first AB. So it's like, that's not great. But he responded, right? He responded by striking out the next 3 batters that he faced. And, really a lot of this, I mean, this felt like we were just so back. I mean, the top of the first inning, you give up a leadoff homer. It takes you 24 pitches to get through the first inning. It's like, oh, man, this sounds exactly like Brewers baseball and what we're used to, especially the cynical side of us. And then you get to the bottom of the first inning. Bryce Terang leadoff double ends up being stranded. The Brewers can't bring him home. Oh, man. Even more back. This is definitely what we're used to seeing, again, on that cynical side. But then the offense really ended up coming through the rest of the game. Misiorowski came through. And just, so excited for him, too. To be one of the youngest pitchers to make an opening day start and to be able to settle in and pitch as well as he did, giving up just 2 hits. And again, one of them was that home run to start the game and just really be dominant. And set the tone for this Brewers team and for the entire pitching staff as they dominated the Chicago White Sox. And the Brewers tied an MLB record with their strikeout performance. They got 20 strikeouts of the Chicago White Sox. 20 of the 27 outs. Punchies. Jacob Misiorowski had 11 of them, but then you get to the bullpen. Aaron Ashby comes in, strikes out 2 in his 1 inning of work. Grant Anderson, the slacker, strikes out just 1 in his 1 inning of work, but that was a very efficient inning. He got through it on 7 pitches. So Grant Anderson, great job there. DL Hall comes in, strikes out 3 in his 1 inning of work. He did load the bases with 2 walks and a hit, but still struck out 3. And then Jake Woodford, the newbie, the new kid, he strikes out 3 as well. Gave up a home run to Munetaka Murakami there at the end in the 9th inning, which is how the White Sox got 2 runs in this game, but still ends up with 3 Ks. And the Brewers struck out 20 White Sox hitters, tying an MLB record for a 9-inning game. It's happened 10 times. The last was the New York Mets in 2022 against the Pittsburgh Pirates. It also, of course, naturally, set a franchise record for a single game. The previous was 19 strikeouts in a game, and that took them 14 innings to do against the Pittsburgh Pirates back in 2010. But I mean, we've seen 20 strikeout performances from starters, the Kerry Woods, Max Scherzers of the world. And even though this wasn't all done by one player, still the entire staff in 9 innings striking out 20 batters, just absolutely incredible, and sets a tone for just how nasty this pitching staff is and how nasty they are going to be. And we get a whole season of watching them. 1 game down, 161 to go. The Brewers are 1-0. They are atop the NL Central. And they will remain that way the entire season, wire to wire. Sure, why not? Chicago Cubs took a loss on opening day to the Washington Nationals. Old friend Joey Wiemer homered off Chicago Cubs. So, hey, attaboy Joey. Still helping out the cause. Still got shooters out here. So, attaboy Joey Wiemer. But the Brewers are 1-0, and they are atop the NL Central. And they got another couple of games coming up. So nothing today, nothing on Friday here. But the Brewers will be playing Saturday and Sunday against the White Sox. And we are going to have Chad Patrick and Brandon Sproat on the mound for these 2 games this weekend. Going to be a lot of fun. Brewers get the win on opening day, and they're going to try and keep riding that momentum. Going to try and do it without Jackson Chourio, but he should hopefully be back fairly soon. So appreciate you watching, appreciate you enjoying here as the Brewers get their opening day win. Be sure to follow, subscribe, get notified every single time a new episode drops. Follow me on Twitter at dgasper24, where I had a video go viral here on opening day as well. During the pregame lineup introductions, Pat Murphy does not shake hands with his players. I mean, he just stands stoically there and completely ignores them as they come down the line for a high five or a handshake. And took a video of that, and sure enough, just popping off everywhere. Foul territory. John Boy Media. All these places just bam, bam, bam. Videos going everywhere. So follow me on Twitter at dgasper24. I'm a good time over there. Lots of great content that you can find. And there's a lot to be happening because now we are in it. We are in the regular season. We are underway, and we got this for the next 6+ months. I cannot wait for it. Appreciate you watching. Appreciate you enjoying. And we'll see you again next week for another episode of Brewers Daily.